Welcome to Television, Intense TV. I'm your host, Robert Lewis Tyler I. And last week we had on Dre Williams from MC Hammer's lead singer right there, and we had Charles Unger Experience. So I want to introduce to you tonight the stunning Erika from KZCT Radio 89.5 on your dial FM from Vallejo. We also have the guy with the freshest fade. Shawn Raiford's in the house tonight. He's going to do a live performance, saxophone from Saxual Chocolate. So right about now, I'd like to introduce my guest and my co-host, Roland Martinez, KSBY Radio from Sonoma right here. And guys, welcome to the show. Glad you could make it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
How was your drive over? I know it started to rain, so.
I caught a little traffic, but it was okay.
Not bad, right?
After the railroad tracks, I was just fine.
I know. The GPS, if you take it to the station, it'll take you to the back door and you can't hardly get in. So it's like hard that way. So guess who's back, Roland? Guess who's back?
Guess who's back?
You're back.
I'm back. Yeah.
Shawn Raiford's back. he was here and he was here for our Christmas show, and he did a Christmas performance here. And so, Shawn, you got some events coming up pretty quick right now?
Yes, this coming Saturday we're going to be opening for the Gospel Choir of Soweto, South Africa, Nelson Mandela.
Nelson
Choir.
Mandela?
Yeah, at the Bob Hope Theater out in Stockton, California.
Nice.
The doors open at 4:30.
And that's April 6th?
April the 6th, this Sunday.
Doors will be open at 4:30?
Yes.
Nice. And you have any events coming up right now, Erika?
Well, I think
now that I mention it.
Now that you mention it. Well, I just like to have people tune into my show. I'm on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon. And I've been looking all over the place for unsigned independent talent. Nice. And someone told me about your show.
Wow.
Then I tuned in and, found a couple of artists there. And I thought, wow. And then you and I met.
Right.
Down in, I guess it was the Sugar Tea Show.
Elk Grove, right?
Yeah.
Sugar Tea.
Yeah.
Sprinkle me.
Oh, yeah. She was doing the doggone
and Dwayne
thing.
Wiggins. Tony has done it again.
Wasn't that a show to remember?
That was awesome, right?
Oh, God. And what a treat.
So you're Erika Blue in the morning.
Yes.
89.5.
Yes.
KZCT Radio in Vallejo. Right?
Yes, and a lot of folks know us, OzCat Radio.
OzCat Radio.
Yeah,
right.
we actually started on the internet and did an internet station first.
Huh.
And so for all those folks out there that are doing internet radio, keep on doing it because you never know where you might end up.
Right, you be coming up.
Yeah,
to the next
definitely,
level.
and definitely taking it serious. But I've got an affection for the independent artist real bad, and I'm always looking for talent.
We got it, because we got, people will say, "Hey, I got my start on this show way back when."
Yeah.
And we had Confunction on here. We had Timex Social Club. We had the MC Hammer guys, last week or what not, So, and I had Ray from Too Big MC from Vallejo, but he moved down to Atlanta. I was gonna get him on the show. Now his phone number is like disconnected.
Doesn't that always happen?
Yeah.
As soon as they get a better break, right?
The hype man for MC.
I've had that done with some independent artists. As long as they stay independent, kind of quiet,
right?
You got the phone number. As soon as they make it big, you try to call that number off.
Yeah. Pager's gone. Phone's gone. Home phone number. Cell phone.
Absolutely.
Email.
Well, that's when you have to get a hold of their agent or somebody who books them and everything. So. When they get big like that, you're not talking to them anymore. As far as, hey, we want you on the show, or anything, unless you happen to catch them live. And even then, they'll be like, oh yeah, we'll talk to my guy.
Exactly. And then when you talk to them, you know what they say? Why didn't you call me?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Try to roll it around on your way.
Doesn't happen anymore.
So when did you find your voice for radio?
Well, I got to tell you, I've been on the FM on OzCat Radio. I've been doing this for like 8 years.
Yeah.
It really took a year into it because of the fact that, you've got a lot of different DJs. So I was DJing and hosting. So you got that screaming voice.
Yeah.
And it's a lot different voice from when you're actually doing it live on the radio.
Right.
And a lot of people don't understand. You kind of got to bring it down a notch for the radio.
So you're kind of MCing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So it was about a year end to where I was actually, and we call it driving down the musical highway. You're a radio personality as well. So, and we call it driving down the musical highway. But once you're sitting in the seat, and I mean, you're messing with all those sound dials, you know, and I mean, you're just right in the pocket there, and enjoying yourself.
Yeah, because you were MCing over there in Sacramento too. That one.
Yes,
day. Yeah,
I was
You're
MCing
introducing
that one.
and you know, the first guy came on was Jay Black, right? You know?
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
I go,
yeah.
I know this guy was in a studio with him in Southern California about 15 years ago, and I go, weren't you in Reno Valley? He goes, no, and I'm like, yeah, you no. I go, keyboard, drum machine, and I go, you weren't, no. I have Facebook, and then I found, and he was. He goes, well, I was there in 1999. I go, yeah, that was 15. We were in the studio. I was doing some rap, and he was doing the keyboard and the drum machine.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I remember you. So I hadn't seen him for 15 years. You opened the act, right?
see,
for Shawn Raiford and
Wow.
Saxual Chocolate, you know.
That's right.
And you're like I am. You probably never forget a face, and it's like,
Yeah,
I
it's like,
know this guy
Yeah,
or
the
this
name,
girl
the
from
face,
somewhere.
Jay
Yeah.
Black, the keyboard, the drum machine. Yeah, everything fits in. You know, it's too many coincidences. I said, that's you, man. No, I was never in Reno. Well, I was there, and then a month later, I was there in '99.
He copped to it for a few months.
Yeah, yes. yeah. So later in the show, Shawn, you're gonna do like maybe a live performance for
Yes,
us?
sir.
And what song are you gonna do?
I'm gonna do a song from Dreamgirls, the "And I'm Telling You I'm Not Going" song that
Oh
Jennifer Hudson
my
did.
goodness, I
Nice.
love that
Yeah,
song.
I'm gonna be
Right.
playing
Right.
that one. That's about
And-
a little signature song. When I get out and start playing, most people want to hear that song.
And who does most of the writing in your group right now? Usually.
Right now,
You said you were gonna write something and have something drop next month. You were saying maybe in May. Remember?
I'm hoping.
How's
but
that
it'll
been going
probably
along? I forgot about that.
It's going
Yeah.
slow but sure. I think it may be
Your second
more-
CD, I believe
Right,
it
it
was.
may be sometime
Correct.
in December before I'm ready for my second CD.
Oh, so it's been postponed a little
Yes.
bit, but it's in the works.
A lot more work, yeah.
And then it's ready to drop. Then that'll be nice. Speaking of Hudson, we're supposed to get next week. Ronnie Hudson.
Oh,
from,
yeah.
You've heard of him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard? Yeah, from Los Angeles. He called me and he goes, how do I get up there? And I go, I want to do your TV show. I guess he got my phone number off Facebook. And I go, well, you come up Highway 5 and then you turn left on Lodi, Highway 12 west. And he goes, that sounds like a long way. I go, yeah, it is. You know, he's got a new album to drop on the
Yeah.
15th of April, and he wants to promote it. And probably have DJ Flash out of Sacramento, where you're from, come on out, you know, and stuff like that. And maybe Jay Black, who did the keyboards on the
Oh, he
album.
just got
Oh,
a
that
good
really
new
nice.
guitar, too.
He got a brand new
He got
key.
a brand new
You know,
guitar,
you know Jay
yeah.
Black, yeah.
Yeah, he has a
Yeah, well,
brand
he
new
opened.
one.
You guys all know him, right?
That's my buddy.
Yeah,
Everybody's
this guy
all
knows
on the
him.
same stage.
I guess
right?
we all know him, man. It's
Yeah.
like a small world, right? So kind of all ties in, full circle, right? So, like that. But you always got the freshest fade and haircut. Now, do you do any? You do haircut too?
I cut hair. I actually, my grandfather owned the first black-owned barber shop in Tylertown, Mississippi, back in the day.
Tylertown.
Tylertown, Mississippi.
I like that.
And then,
Tylertown.
you know, I started doing hair back in about '99.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a girlfriend that did hair. and
Nice.
Saw the money she was making. I was like, okay, I can keep barbering,
Right.
and make a little money, or start doing hair and make a lot of money.
And it's fun, huh? It's kind of creative
sounds
and
a lot
art.
better.
It's like an artwork. It's like a 3D. You just, you know, you can do like fade and cut different, you know, stuff. Do you
Like
do
the
any? Of
old
do you do
one.
the personalized cuts, the designs? Can you do that?
I don't do the designs.
No, you don't
No,
do that.
not the designs. I just
Yeah.
do like now.
I need
just
some on the
mainly
side
just
of my
do
head,
hair.
too, on the
I
side.
just do hair like weaves or
Yeah, yeah.
relaxers.
Right.
updos,
I've seen
stuff
your
like
work.
that.
Yeah, it looks really
Oh, yeah.
really professional.
I'm on Instagram. It's under Hair
You
by
can do
Shawn.
you could do miracles with hair.
I try.
Yeah. Say it again. Instagram?
It's Instagram. It's Hair by Shawn.
Right.
HAIRBYSHAWN.
Oh, wow. How's the back of my hair looking there, Shawn?
You're fine.
Are
baby.
we
You're
good?
You're
Are
good.
we good?
You're good. You're
Are we
great.
nice and
Look
smooth?
marvelous.
You're smooth.
You
Absolutely
sat right
marvelous.
next to a hairstylist. How could you? Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's looking good except me right now.
Well, I'm feeling the headband.
Yeah. I had like a little what do you call it? Little pimple breakout there. So let's cover that.
Oh boy, big Band-Aid.
And this morning when I woke up, I was like, cover that up pretty quick, you know. So, yeah.
How long you been playing your woodwind?
I actually started back. My journey actually started back in like 1999.
Yeah.
At my grandmother's 75-year anniversary of her church.
All right.
And been playing since then, nonstop.
Playing the clarinet or anything like that either?
I don't. I've just started taking music in college because I can play by ear. So
Yeah.
I'm learning now how to read and do music over at ARC out in Sacramento.
Well, we get a lot of
program.
musicians here that don't read music yet,
Right.
and they're working on it. As I always say, you know, learn your craft. You know, because I
Right.
went through years of the whole studying of music and everything, and got where I got and everything, it's worth it. It really is. I mean, it's a miracle to be able to play by ear. But once you learn how to read it, then you learn how to write it. You know,
That's
Right.
true because it gets
Yeah. Right.
the mind structure to the mathematical. It's like the Beatles didn't read music, and they made a couple bucks. So they couldn't.
Man.
One of them was
Yeah.
even left-handed, right?
Oh,
so
boy.
Now, speaking of the church, how old was your grandpa? Was he 81 when he first started coming? He heard you playing this.
My grandfather.
He started
heard me
coming back
playing.
to the church.
My grandfather actually went to church that night in
Heard you
Vallejo
play.
at 81 and decided he was going to give his life over to Christ
Wow.
that night. The next day,
That's
should I
pretty wild.
say, if I played my horn there at the church, I can't think of the name of it now. It's bad. But he came down the aisle.
Huh.
And in that same year, my grandmother and grandfather passed away.
Wow.
Wow.
Just
They
in
both
time.
passed
Right?
away.
I mean, perfect.
But my aunt had
Timing.
made sure she wanted to give my grandmother her flowers.
Right.
It was just in time.
Wow. It's kind of a
And
sweet story.
my grandmother actually raised me the majority of my life.
Really?
That could be a sweet story right there. I've often thought that, like, if a couple that been married together for a long, long time,
Right.
if they should pass away at around the same time, or even get buried together, maybe their spirit still lives on together, and they end up going to the great place, together, because there's that waiting room for a while, as they say, with the upper room,
My grandmother actually
Oh,
went in
boy.
November, my grandfather in December.
Yeah,
Wow.
and that's close
Wow,
enough. I mean, they're
that's real
probably,
close.
he probably waited for her, or vice versa, and I think that's like a sweet afterlife kind of story. I mean, it's wishful thinking on my part,
How about I introduce? Now, what's the name of the song I'm introducing again?
And I'm telling you, I'm not going by Jennifer
Oh, I
Hudson.
love
Jennifer
it.
Hudson. Okay. You want to go ahead and set that up, and I'll go right over here on camera one and introduce this song right about now. Right about now, Funk Soul Brothers. Right about now, we got Shawn Raiford. So we'll bring up that music and wait for that beat to drop, and he's going to go ahead and do a live performance right here on television, Intense TV,
Thank you.
live TV. And it's coming right up. Wait for it. Wait for it. performance, flawless performance as always. And always glad to have you back on the show, you know.
I'm thankful that you had me
Over
back.
and over again, you know. Yeah. It's always nice to have you on the show, you know. Look forward to doing it again as well. I had a couple questions for both of you. Like, what do you think about like on the younger, well, even middle age, I don't know, doing the profanity on recordings, and what are your views on that? For it, against it, pro, con, or you know, it's okay in certain situations, or you know, what do you think?
I can actually speak to that.
Okay.
Once you're doing radio,
Right.
you're listening to the FM, and you really get dialed into no profanity.
Right.
You really do. And my thing is that while the producers are in the studio, that they should be able to talk with the artist and let them know if they want their music to go further. I mean, here in the U.S., I mean, you really got to cut it out. And I mean, there's so much language. It seems like they could be so much more creative
Right.
in terms of using that
Yeah.
profanity.
Right.
And then you get where they start actually editing their music, and some of them don't do as quite a good job as the
Cleaning
other one.
it up a
You
little bit,
know.
right?
You're right. Yeah.
And you can actually hear that in the song. You know, you get the big bump, and you're just like, oh boy, I bet that was an F-bomb.
Yeah, because I had a guy want to come on the show, Bay Love from San Francisco. Because on the background, on this backtrack, there's some. I'm like, you can't. No, I can't fix it. You know, I'm like, well, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if I want to do that. So you know, I was like, maybe, you know, but I'd have to put a disclaimer at the beginning of the show. You know, this is an adult program, blah blah blah. You know, at the beginning of the show, so
Right.
you don't get
Right.
kicked off the air, right, or something. You know. So what do you think, Shawn, about the same subject, same question?
I'm glad I played the saxophone.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to worry about that. I can play the lyrics.
Right.
To me,
So-
it's
You kind of for it or against it?
I'm in the middle.
Yeah, me
You know,
too. I don't
I'm
know.
not.
You know.
I'm not for it because I like
Yeah.
like she said, you can
Right.
use so many more words.
Yeah, exactly. You
Um,
could get more creative.
I'm
you
not
know.
against it
Pull
because you
something
know
out of your hat.
that's you know growing up. You know when you're young, you use that kind of language.
You're gonna hear it.
It's
I mean,
not good, but
you're going to hear it
what you do.
somewhere. You know,
It's part of
where
the
you go.
voice.
I've been
Yeah.
I've been
You know, the
coaching
world now,
football
and,
for over
you know.
20-something years, and I can tell you that you know you can hear that. I mean, the kids come out there. You know, they've been raised in good Christian homes.
And a
and
lot,
Right.
and a lot of them
and
think
they-
it sells more
because when
records,
they
and I
get
really
there-
don't think
Yeah.
it sells
I
more
don't think it
records.
sells more
no,
records
I
either.
don't. I
There
mean,
was a
it
point
has to be
there.
the artist. You know.
There-
That's the same with the comedians. You know,
Yeah.
they can get away with it without doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if they're good. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
several good, you know, and some of them say, "Well, I choose to," instead of. I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's not a part of somebody else's act, but like with the music and everything that it uses, and you know, and even though like I'm more into country and everything, and I do listen to all genres, but even country music has started to somewhat slip in some of those words every now and then. But you're right. You know, when the producer's in there, when they're recording the album, they should have two versions: the radio version and
absolutely.
you know whatever they're going to play in the bars and clubs and even big arenas wherever they go. But they have to understand, you know, like he was saying, you can go further if you just use a normal language. Because to me, this is the way I'm gonna say it from an out of the window kind of thing. This is what I'm looking in at. When I'm listening to today's music, I used to listen to rap heavy and hip hop back in the day when it was funny, and I'm talking about Jazzy Jeff and you know, the
Okay.
beginnings
Right.
of NWA and Ice Cube and
Yeah.
you know back when it was funny, you know, and everything. And then after a while, just something happened, and I think it all happened around the Tupac time. Was when now they're just trying to prove how hard
Gangster
they
rap.
are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
how many Cadillacs they have, and how many women they have, and how many, you know, and then they only make that one hit, and then you like never hear from them anymore.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it all started sounding the same.
Yeah.
You know, and to get away from that, these people are supposed to be poets along with their music, you know, and rhythm and poetry is what rap means, you know, and when all they're talking about is, oh, well, I got $1,000 here and the money and the women and then all this stuff, it becomes old. It's all repetitive to me now. And I think that's the general thing from the outside looking in now, you know, to that particular genre. But, you know, it's like...
Even Eazy-E wrote some clean song, Radio. He wrote
Yeah,
the radio,
you
some
know, I mean,
radio,
you know,
radio.
yeah.
You know, so, you know, he goes, yeah, I cleaned it up. You know, so, you know.
And
He was
especially-
writing what he saw around him, you know, and
Yeah.
everything, and then everybody else jumped on that bandwagon, I think.
And
too,
then
you
some
know,
of these
so-
songs I think only took like 2 minutes to write.
Right.
There's a song that my girlfriend's daughter listens to, and every time it plays, I have to leave the room because it makes no sense to me. It's something called "Type of Way." Have you heard that? I feel that type of way. I'm going that type of way, and it's like he says that word every third word. I'm like, what is he talking about? You know, and it's like, you know, this song
He's
must
on
have only
Facebook.
taken type of way. You know, I'm not putting the genre out. I love the genre. You know, I listen to it. We listen to it all the time. But it's like some of these songs, like
We got about 5 minutes left, so go ahead.
All right. Well, you know, my thing is, and especially for the independent artists trying to get their feet in the door.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've had some wonderful songs come, but there's nothing I can do with them. Why? Because I just say they filthy. They filthy. It's not. It's nothing I can do. There's so many f-bombs in it. It's
you're gonna get,
it's
you know,
almost not even
the
worth
FCC
them.
is gonna get on you,
cleaning
not
it
them,
up.
right? Yeah.
And it would seem to me
You're
that
off
they would
the
just make a nice, good, fresh version,
Right.
you know, off the bat, just to give themselves the opportunity to be able to have that radio airplay so that the audience can basically listen to it and make up their mind whether they like the artist or they don't.
Right.
And a lot of them, you know, are not even going to get the opportunity because there's so many F-bombs in there. F's and the N's, and you know, it's a whole bunch.
Sell out, so I'm gonna have to put it my way. But your way, you're gonna be broke.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
you make that one. You had your 15 minutes. You know, basically.
And that's
Jay-Z has clean lyrics on there. You know, he knows when he can put those other lyrics out.
Yeah.
But it's not on the air.
Right. And then, you know, I was in a band like in 1973, and I was out of Napa, but the band was mostly out of Vallejo. It was Stage Fright back, and I played keyboards and stuff, you know, and sing and stuff. But this guy, he was in a band and he was on the radio, so he might have some questions for both y'all because he knows a little bit about. I don't know anything about radio. I've done radio on the phone maybe 4 times in Texas, San Francisco, Palm Springs, and Napa, like over the phone because they want to do an interview with my son.
Yeah.
That kid. We won't talk about him. It's about you. So this guy might have some questions for both y'all because he's from Texas, so he says all y'all. Yeah, he says,
he knows.
boy howdy, all y'all.
Where I was going with, you
we
know,
got
when did
5
you
minutes
find your
left.
voice for radio? Because you know, there comes a time when you're figuring out how am I going to speak on this microphone.
Oh, that's right.
Like you have this, you know what your voice reminds me of? You ever seen the movie Warriors?
Yes.
Okay, you remember the woman that was kind of guiding them through on the radio? She was, okay, Warriors, you're going to make it down over the road. Right?
That's right.
And all stuff. You have that nice little soul smooth sound.
Oh,
I have
thank
a
you.
certain sound for myself, but you know, in the beginning, like friends who found out, oh, you're going to be on radio. What, are you going to sound like, you know, the strip bar guy? You know, hey, now coming up the center stage, or you know, for the latest facts and Saxual wax. You know, am I going to do all that? I'm like, no, I'm just going to talk. I mean, that's what got me on there in the beginning.
Exactly,
You know?
just being you. And I have to say, I mean, we have about 37 DJs over at OSCAT. And pretty much, if you hear someone speaking right in front of you and then listen to them over the radio, you are going to get that same voice. But I know exactly what you're talking about, those sort of made-up voices and those characters.
Hi,
and
everybody.
and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's having to keep it up.
Right.
You know, that's the hard part. And just being able
So
to
just
use
be yourself and.
just being able to use your natural voice, it's a lot better.
Make sure you
and-
project it too, because some people, you know, they'll get up to a mic and just talk, you know, talk
I know,
real
I
low,
mean,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I get that all the time. Yeah, and I have the mic right on their mouth and everything.
So we got about 3 minutes left. Time flies when you're having fun.
Right.
You know, a 30-minute show goes by like 9 minutes. It seems like because you know when you have fun, it's like boom, it's over, right? You know, so we got about 2.5 minutes left. You know, so did you have any questions? As one musician to another musician for Shawn here.
Actually, what I was gonna, not so much a question, but I was gonna offer a little advice. These tracks that you're recording, whenever you're in the studio, see if there's time to record tracks without your instrument on it, or if you have a singer and that you're in a band, have them record a track without that singer voice on it too, because you go on radio shows, you can actually have them play the track, have them sing live. You can play live, and you can have your part missing from it. That way you're filling it in. I own a karaoke show, so I'm telling these people, hey, bring your disc over without your tracks on it. You're the only one that's ever going to know the lyrics to it, you know, for a while. So, you know, promote your shows. Take your disc to karaoke shows and do that there, or open mic nights or stuff like that. Nice.
Boy.
Excuse you.
Is that time's up?
That's we're gonna roll some credits up here, and at the end of the show, you know, we're gonna chat, talk a bit, but you know, at the end of the show, all the information you need to get a hold of Shawn Raiford right here from Saxual Chocolate out of Sacramento, or Erika Blue from KZCT Radio 89.5 in Vallejo FM in Vallejo right here. All that information will be available to you at the end of the show, as well as Roland, myself. Yeah, no, we don't count them. It's all about you guys, and I know it goes by quick, but we're glad you guys have you on the show, and hope we can do this again real soon. You know, it goes by so quick when you're having fun.
All right.
You know, so.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you
Thank you
for
for
coming.
coming. Yeah, thank you
so much.
Many things.
I'd like to say real quick for KSVY Radio, we will be off there playing reruns at nighttime for 2 weeks. We are moving the station from current location to another building. So in 2 weeks, my show will return after that, 7, 8 on Tuesday evenings, Pacific time. Thank you.
It's going to be a long story. No.
You're very welcome.
Just kidding. So we got the Saxual chocolate right there.
Awesome.
And then, And then
We
got
should
the,
start mentioning at the beginning of the show to everybody have their pens and paper ready for all these credits.
Yeah.
So for
I
next
usually,
show,
I usually
have
mention
your
it
pen and paper
about
ready.
halfway through the show, but this show went by so quick because we had so much fun. And we
Yeah,
had
it
too
did.
we
fast.
did.
It's like it seems like we do a 30-minute show. It seems like 9 minutes to me usually.
Oh, good.
Goes by so quick,
Fabulous, fabulous.
but it's always a blast. It's always really fun to have you guys on.
I like the Albie Shore version of this song better.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
do.
do you remember that? I think
I
it was
like
a
this.
lot better.
I like this remix.